today we talk about image uploading. Yeah, and there is one nice thing about Heroku, as you guys already know. Advantages of Heroku is what? Easy to use add-ons. You have log management, you have error reporting, all of that is much easier to add. If you deploy code to your own server, there are a lot of things you have to worry about. Security of your server and settings up for production, setting up backups. What I didn't show last time is that you can add backup add-ons and your application is also automatically backed up every day and you sleep well at night. So today, however, we handle one limitation which is difficult to do on Heroku compared to having your own server. So initially, you set up your project so you actually store files to the same file system, right? This is if you do it locally or if you upload files to your own server. Yeah. So then we use the storage file way under the image uploader. So it's like a policy, right? You can choose to store files, uploaded files to file system. That's what we try first. We all try this and you guys are not afraid, right? This is just a class that handles file opening and save it. You all have no problem with this milestone. Now you see it's very cool, right? The code is very clean. Everything, all the logic with file handling is in a different class, so you don't make your model code too noisy. So then you realize that, well, if I need to push, you see that by default, all the files that user upload will get saved to public/uploads. But if you deploy to Heroku, this will get saved. And then when you deploy again, when you restart your Rails server, this folder disappears. Right? That's why we need to store the file somewhere else. So that's why we have to make it work with Heroku. Okay. So technically, it's not read-only. Heroku lets you save file, but it's called ephemeral file system, which means you can create new files. As soon as the server restart, those files are gone. So enter this extension, right? CareerWave provide you an interface to store files. The one that comes default is storage:file. Now we do storage: what? AWS, right? And then this one you just need to set up a few things. So did everyone get this step? That's awesome, because most likely when you work on production level code, this is the most popular thing, which is Amazon AWS S3. Simple storage, what? I don't know, S3 is what? Simple? I don't know. Amazon S3. I don't know what the third S is. So 3S. Now, there are more gems, right? So you have a fork gem that actually handle storing it to the cloud, like Amazon and other places. It's a huge gem. So I recommend using this one, and it's using it uses the AWS SDK gem, so it's a lot lighter. So you can read this if you're curious. Now, do we understand what a bucket is? It's like a folder, right, online. And then I'll show more. Now, this is very important, right? You cannot show this key on your GitHub, okay? So, and then normally we use env blah. Fetch is the same in this case, but you can use the fetch function and you can pass in the second argument as a default value, for example. Some people like this interface, some don't. Yeah. Now, if you set region to be the Asia Pacific, it's faster. That's all. The US one is slower, right? So you all understand you can change to this. Now this is very important. In a lot of apps, you need some sort of configuration for your app. And production is different from staging and all of that. So one way is to set up an environment, right? We use the Heroku way, which is Heroku config set. You set all these environment keys, right? But what if you want to test this on localhost? So you want to also set your own environment keys, right? So we provide, for those of you who did not create an Amazon account, we actually give you the keys like this. Okay? So even until this, you all understood the sort of the bucket name and then the keys. You all get the file saved successfully. Have you browsed where the files are?
Okay.
Yeah, it's really easy. Amazon, they are, even like if you're on Windows, there's a browser app. If you are, you can download a Chrome extension. I don't like it because the review is really low. So what I want to do is Amazon. I just use Amazon Web Console really. Just go to Amazon here, right? AWS Console. When you go in there, Amazon has a lot of services. So you choose S3, right? So I choose S3. You notice the URL. You can copy this URL. In S3, you can, in here you see the buckets you created. So if I have my site on production, you probably can see, like, let's say go to school bucket, and then there's a go to school staging, dash staging bucket, or go to school dash development. I want a different bucket for a different app or different environment. So let's say I already used it before and I uploaded files here. So you see, instead of public folder / uploads, everything go into bucket folder and then uploads. And then the same thing. Well, there's a convention, there's a model name, there's a column name, and then ID, right? We decided where to store. Where's that file? App, uploader. What else? Let's say image uploader. So if you tell this to say, so don't start with fork. I don't like fork. It's much more complicated. And then because I say upload, you see this line, right? So it gets stored here. So it's nice, right? You can browse all these files on the internet. Now one more time, we have the .env file like this, and we try to make it very similar to the Heroku config thing. Now in this app, we add this file to git ignore because we don't want to commit this to production. Okay? Now if you have a private repo, you share with your team. Right? Maybe you can commit this file and then your team can use the keys without having to set up Amazon. Right? Then how can I make sure it's still safe? Oh, yeah, you share the keys, but make sure this key is not too powerful. So there are ways to get the AWS key that is so powerful it can create buckets, it can create server, and then you suddenly just find the bill on your credit card, thousands of dollars. It happens a lot, right? Because if you push to GitHub, suddenly it's public just for 5 minutes. There's already bot checking for new repo on GitHub, and then there's like, oh, something that say AWS key. Grab it, and they keep it, and then they can try it. So don't do that. Even though it's 5 minutes, there's the chance that someone else already has your key. However, right, I show it here, and then on YouTube, people already see this. This key is very limited to this bucket. So that's why I explained that you guys need to use the kind of like IAM user, not your user. Create a limited account. All right. So there's a thing and there's a policy I add here. You can only have, okay, here you have a permission that is full access to S3, but you cannot create server. That one's expensive. S3 is okay. Like you can have thousands of files and it costs you like $1, right? Read only access to S3. I add, so this is, I go to the policy and I find it. I just check this one. Now there are some apps that maybe you only need read only. Key, use it, right? Use the little thing. All right. So I'll need to update this image, huh? You all done to this stage. So now you understand, right? I use the, there's a very cool gem, which is the .env gem, is like, .env, right? This gem works well with Rails. You can create your configuration key, right? Like this. Facebook authentication, if you use it, you must use the Facebook access key. You put it here, right? Should we commit this file to GitHub? No, if the keys are very sensitive, like this case. Yes, if it's just a Facebook login or something else. It's up to you. So my my case is, for example, for app that I don't want this to be committed. Okay, I create one more file. I call it .env.sample. Okay, and then I I just delete everything after the equal sign like this, so that, and then I go to the README file. Right, I keep it like this. So I commit this file, yeah, and then in my README file, right, I say, whoops, sorry. In my README file, not this one. So slow, sorry. Yeah, this is the README file. All right. So I say, there's a instruction that says setup, right? Please copy .env.sample to the env file, and then please fill out the above files with the necessary credential. Then your other developer actually understand and go back to and do that. Okay. Now you're like, man, every time I create a Heroku app, I need to go through this Amazon key thing. My app is small. Is there a better way? So I introduced a better way, which is this one. So PostgreSQL is one of the most powerful database, this relational database system. It can support JSON. It can support large files. It's a bit more flexible than MySQL, more powerful than MySQL. So I introduced this milestone. If you introduce a thumbnail OID column, then it's an integer. So there's a gem that basically when you upload a file, it's saved to Postgres in the large files table, and then it gives you an OID, which is an integer pointing where the file is. So now you have everything inside Postgres. You just need to know how to render the file. So you could render by saying file.read and then read the text from the database, which is a blob. Or you can use another gem to render it. So I introduced this gem is how to save the file content as a blob. It's a binary data in the database. All right, and then you change this. So that's how you store it. But then you use this gem so you can render it. If you're curious, you can go and read the gem's README file. So how does it work? Who finished this milestone? Did you get it to display? All right, so very quickly, if I go to products/new, and there's one more thing you guys can see in my products. My computer is freaking out again. Almost there, guys. All right, so I add, where's the form? Products/new in here, right? Okay. Come on. So when you upload this file, we're using the same. Okay. Do you see this field? File field thumbnail? Same thing, right? Product params, same thing. By the way, in this pool, I even add support for multiple images per product. Why not? So in this lab, did we do that? No, right? I don't know why, but I actually added a new model with a foreign key to product. So technically, you can add more photos if you like. You can use it this way, right? Okay, back to the thumbnail. Here's an idea. What if I upload an image and I store it to my products table? Right, so after you do this, you save, it will look like this. Product.last. So let's say .last. You guys see there's a thumbnail column, and then it's like an integer there. So that thumbnail. Uh-oh. It should be converted to, let me try again. It's an integer, but when you run it, it now should be converted to a thumbnail uploader instance. Come on. Okay. So let's upload Swift. I have Taylor Swift as an image. Oh no. No.
Yeah.
All right. Swift, where's my Swift? Oh my God. Who's the? My Slack is buzzing like crazy.
Can you send me your gem file?
All right, this one. Yeah. Create. So it's saved. So I'm gonna do product.last.thumbnail. All right, it is a thumbnail uploader, and there's an ID here, right? So imagine if I go to product thumbnail / this ID, it render the file. So the server actually handle, you can see this one, started this one, and then processing Postgres SQL large object streamer, so that the gem provide you that, and it's super cool. So the reason it works is that in your gem file, obviously you have the streamer here, and in your routes, you just mount. You can mount it anything here, like engine. So it's like a separate small Ruby app. It's a server. Rails allow you to add that, and normally it's the model name and then the column name, so it will understand. That's just convention. If you have multiple, routes, so you have like product thumbnail or user profile, etc. You may need to add more. Yeah, it will know where. For example, if I add another column, right? Maybe user model and profile. So it's a bit tricky, yeah? So
What? Can you go backwards a little bit? What's the point of this? I don't understand. Like, why?
yeah,
You
why?
can't just,
Can
like,
someone?
let the browser go to the image path.
So if you don't have the streamer, right? So your question is why we have this streamer, right?
Yeah.
When you go to the browser, when you display the product, you have to use image tag like this. Okay?
Yeah.
And you can only pass an URL to it. But the file is in your PostgreSQL database. Think about that.
I thought the file was on.
It's in the
S3.
database. So from the server, you cannot get to it. So you can implement your own. You would have to implement like this. So products, let's say if I in product here, I can implement my show image function. Okay, I will need this. So first I need to get the product .find ID. So what's the ID? Params ID, right? I'm just gonna get the last one. Okay, last. Okay, now product .image is pointing to the file in the database, so you need to read it, and then now the server need to send the data back to render it, stream the content back to the server to the user. You can do send file or send data. Send file, you pass in the file name. Send data, you pass in this whole is the whole big chunk of text. And if you go back to my code up here, you see uploader is no magic. It's just, you see all this read code. Where is it? An uploader, and then you have this thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like that. So technically, product.thumbnail is an instant like that, and then you can do .read. So then you send the data back. However, in this case, you also have to say the type of data you're sending. Is it an image PNG, like file type? So it's a little trickier. Does it make sense?
No.
So, all right.
I don't understand. Like with S3, can't I just give it the URL?
No,
in S3?
with
What's
this
the
is
point of the
this approach is so you don't have, if you don't have a credit card, if you don't use S3.
Oh,
We use Postgres.
oh, okay.
Correct. This is a hack,
You're
right?
trying to get around Heroku's.
Well, this is just another way of doing it, and it's very important for you guys to discuss the pros and cons. Now, if you store to your file system, it's actually one of the worst approach. If you need to back up your files, how do you do it? You have to back up your server code, right? If you store it to AWS, very easy. You back up your buckets. If you store it to PostgreSQL, you're going to back up your data anyway. So then when you back up your data, you back up all of these files as well. But if you have a lot of files, that's not good. So that's one it's maybe it's just too complicated if you have all the files in there. And you don't have the browser like this. You can't browse your files this way, right? Postgres, if you store in Postgres, you can only access it by streaming it using your Rails app. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
One more
In the
disadvantage.
process, we can use some workbench like MySQL workbench to browse image.
Yes, but you can browse the data, but you cannot render the images.
Sure.
So you can't see it either.
Just saw the ID.
This is the ID, right? So there are a lot of disadvantages. One big disadvantage is this: if you put on S3, every time the user view your image, the browser send a request to Amazon. It never touches your server.
Okay. So you don't need to pay more for the bandwidth for your server.
Well, in this case, we don't pay for bandwidth. You actually pay for Amazon bandwidth, but it's so cheap that it doesn't cost anything. It's like, if your image is so popular, Amazon may charge you, right? But if your image is very popular on Postgres and they have to go to your domain name / product_image / 1234, your server is going to crash. Because that is one HTTP request to your server, going through similar to a controller and stuff. And your Rails server can only handle maybe 10 requests per minute, 100 requests per minute. So this is a very nice lightweight way to do it. But if your site is popular, right, you don't want to do this. But of course, so understand the pros and cons.
Yes.
In your final project, however, this is a wonderful way to keep things really simple.
Does it work
User
with video?
profile,
Does it work with video too?
I think so, yeah. It's just if you upload, same deal. Uploading to Amazon is just a whole lot convenient, and rendering, yeah.
But like this method, like not using Amazon.
Correct. So it's just, if you serve if any type of file you save to the server, it will work similarly, except that it may not be as smart in rendering the type of data back to you. You have to specify. Image works out of the box. So I don't know about video. Video, you should probably store it to Amazon. When you already store to Amazon and you can just JavaScript, you can just render that. It's really nice. So file browser here, right? Amazon key permission, right? And then if you did the image handling, this one you can include extra syntax to resize your file after you post. There's a lot of things related to image handling. Okay? Right, so you see the processing here. It's pretty cool.
So if I store the image in the proxy, so I waste time to render all the image.
One more time.
If I store in the proxy, when the user access key, the server have to render the image.
Yeah, and when your app is small, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's big, then you see an extra HTTP request means extra work to your server. Just be very comfortable with all this uploader, right? If you use the same storage mechanism, then you can just have one image uploader, and you can mount this image uploader to your product, to your user, and everything. So it just save file the same way. But if you have different way to store the image, then you may have to create, right? I have image uploader here that's storing to file by default. Then I have thumbnail uploader that I store to Postgres large object. So it's up like that, right? So thank you guys.